Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I've given notice of the following private notice question addressed to the Minister of Health and Wellness, whether in regard to chikungunya and dengue fever, he will state the A, number of registered cases thereof as a date, indicating if they are local or imported ones. B, protocols put in place at the airport and the port for the detection thereof, indicating since when. C, measures put in place for the one, prompt detection thereof island-wide, and 2, efficient management of reported cases thereof in government hospitals and health institutions, private clinics and private practitioners, and D, measures taken to quell the outbreak thereof and protect the public at large. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, chikungunya virus is an arbovirus transmitted by Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes. First identified in Tanzania in 1952, the virus has since spread to tropical and subtropical regions worldwide, causing sporadic outbreaks with significant public health and economic burdens. Dengue is also a viral infection transmitted to humans through the bite of infected mosquitoes, Aedes albopictus, which is the same vector for chikungunya transmission. While many dengue infections are asymptomatic or produce only mild illness, the virus can occasionally cause more severe cases and even death. Madam Speaker, a first case of chikungunya was reported on 15th of March 2025 at La Prenaise. It was a 37-year-old lady residing at La Prenaise, Tamarin. She was admitted in a private clinic as she was suffering from fever, joint pains, and had skin rashes. Appropriate treatment was given to the patient. Public health measures were immediately initiated. The patient was put on the mosquito net and provided with mosquito cream. Contact tracing exercise was carried out to identify all persons who were in close contact with the patient. 22 contacts were identified. In addition, vector control measures such as fogging, larviciding, and mist blowing were also carried out in the vicinity of the locality and the places affected persons had visited recently. An entomological survey was simultaneously carried out by the Vector Biology and Control Division of my ministry. Moreover, a multidisciplinary outbreak investigation team was set up to search for additional cases in the neighborhood. A second case was identified on 20th of March 2025. A male patient of 45 years residing at EDC Rivière, working at Tamarin, close to the first case. The patient attended Victoria Hospital with symptoms of fever and joint pains. Subsequently, a third case was reported 21st of March 2025. A female patient residing at Royal Road, Tamarin, was suffering from fever and joint pains. On 22nd March 2025, 2 more cases were reported. A male patient of 73 years residing at Royal Road, Péribert, and another male patient of 68 years residing at Tamarin, both complaining of fever and joint pains. On 24th of March 2025, 3 new cases have been reported. As a total, we have 8 reported cases of chikungunya. I'm informed that 5 have recovered and have been discharged. The remaining 3 are stable. Madam Speaker, as regards dengue, a first case was reported on 21st of March 2025. A patient residing at Plaine Mayon and admitted at Jawaharlal Nehru Hospital. The patient was immediately put under mosquito net and given mosquito cream. A contact tracing exercise was carried out once again to identify persons who had been in close contact with the patient. 3 close contacts were identified and the exercise is still going on. Subsequently, 2 cases were identified on 22nd, 23rd and 24th of March 2025, both persons residing in the same street as at the first patient. Both patients have been admitted at Jawaharlal Nehru Hospital. Fever survey and all public health measures have been initiated by the Public Health and Food Safety Inspectorate and the Vector Biology and Control Division of my ministry. As at to date, 3 cases of dengue have been registered, out of which 1 has recovered while the 2 others are still admitted and under care. In short, Madam Speaker, with respect to Part A of the question, the number of registered cases of chikungunya and dengue fever are 8 and 3 respectively, and all these cases are local ones. As regards Part B, the following protocols have been put in place at the airport and the port since they had come into operation. All incoming passengers are screened for the following diseases at the health counter of the airport and port: avian flu, chikungunya, dengue, filariasis, malaria, plague, yellow fever, cholera, monkeypox, Ebola, Marburg, SARS, MERS, COVID-19, Zika. Data captured include name, local address, contact number, country of origin. All data are captured through the Power Business Intelligence System daily from the online digital all-in-one form or its printed version, then transmitted to respective district head officers on the same day. Health surveillance activities are conducted by both the Public Health Food Safety Inspectorate for non-vector-borne diseases and the Health Surveillance Cadre for vector-borne diseases. There are actually 97 health surveillance officers in post for the surveillance of vector-borne diseases. Health surveillance activities are carried out through physical visits where body temperature, personal data, blood sample, blood smears or blotting paper are taken and dispatched to the Central Health Laboratory. Blood samples are then sent to the laboratory for examination as soon as possible. The National Health Surveillance System has been reinforced. Number of persons put under surveillance from January to February 2025 are as follows. Surveillance, cholera surveillance 2,542, malaria surveillance 13,840, Ebola surveillance 355, Zika surveillance 8,772, and chikungunya surveillance 3,673. Dengue surveillance 5,632, plague surveillance 6,403, SARS avian flu 6,531, other diseases 37,701. Madam Speaker, I regard Part C it is to be noted that chikungunya and dengue are notifiable diseases under Section 42 of Public Health Act 1925, which imposes mandatory requirement for notification of suspected cases by treating doctor of both private and public sectors of my ministry. In addition, as part of the ongoing surveillance, my ministry has implemented the Integrated Diseases Surveillance and Response Strategy, wherein 11 priority diseases, including chikungunya and dengue, are reported to the Communicable Diseases Control Unit, which operates under the purview of my ministry. Since there was an outbreak of chikungunya in La Réunion Island, and with the influx of large number of passengers therefrom, a case definition of the disease was circulated to all doctors in the public and private sectors in Mauritius and Rodrigue. Continuous medical education was carried out in all health institutions of both private and public sectors. An operational plan was revised for the prevention and control of chikungunya, was operated and approved in February 2025 in view of the exponential increase in the number of cases in Réunion Island since the beginning of this year. The plan was reviewed with special focus on chikungunya and has been amended in view of the impending operationalization of the Public Health Emergency Operations Center to include components such as incident management system, rapid response team at both regional and national levels. The operational plan provides for strengthening of surveillance, capacity building, and risk communication, and community engagement during the inter-epidemic seasons. The operational plan has been circulated to allow for a standard approach at the management of an outbreak. Even before the detection of the first case, I wish to inform the House that on 16th January 2025, I chaired a multi-sectoral meeting on vector-borne diseases to enhance coordination among other ministries, including agro-industry, environment, tourism, local government, public utilities, amongst others. I also wish to inform the House that Vector Biology and Control Division of my ministry has conducted various mosquito surveys, and since March 17, 2025, 15 mosquito surveys around chikungunya cases and 4 surveys around dengue cases. In total, 3,006 sites were inspected, out of which 34 sites contain larvae of Albopictus. Since the beginning of this year, 918 tests have been carried out for chikungunya and dengue by Central Health Laboratory, out of which 8 cases of chikungunya and 3 cases of dengue have been confirmed. I also wish to inform that the Central Health Laboratory is adequately equipped to diagnose the chikungunya and dengue. A stock of reagents for dengue is 34,000 tests and for chikungunya 8,000 tests. The measures taken to quell and protect the public health at large. First, we're conducting intersectoral meeting chaired by me to assess the present situation. Actions are taken to foster collaborative support from governmental bodies and non-governmental organizations. Technical meetings are held daily to assess and to review the situation. At district level, the following measures prevail: conduct of environmental health assessment, in regions, localities affected within a radius of 300 meters of the case locus to detect mosquito breeding places. Perform field vector control operations which include indoor residual spraying, outdoor residual spraying, larviciding, mist blowing, fogging, conduct of entomological surveys to assess larvae and adult mosquito indices, conduct of fever surveys and contact tracing, rapid examination of blood sample by Central Health Laboratory, health education at the community level, raising of community awareness through mass media, radio, television, digital health platform, and ensuring community participation. The following has been achieved from notification of the first cases of chikungunya and dengue. Fever survey since 16th of March 2025 up to date. Total number of household visitors 2,045. Total number of blood sample blotting paper taken 201. Total number of contact traced 72. Notices served upon author of nuisances. Total number of notices served 25. Total number of water notices served 111. Statement of nuisance served upon local authorities as other government institutions. Total number of statement of nuisances served 62. Larviciding, total number of premises 11,543. Mist blowing, total number of premises 4,566. Fogging, total number of premises fog 3,346. Madam Speaker, the local authorities are involved in the cleaning of bare lands and also collection of bulky waste. They are also responsible for cleaning of drains as per established program of work in collaboration with the Land Drainage Authority. I'm informed that the Ministry of Local Government, that the above measures are ongoing, and following a meeting I had personally chaired on Monday, 17th of March 2025 with officers of my ministry and also representatives from the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Environment. I'm informed that a coordination meeting was held at the level of the Ministry of Local Government with all the 12 local authorities, National Environment Cleaning Authority, the Mori Facilities Management Company, and Living Environment Unit of Ministry of Environment, Solid Waste Management and Climate Change on Friday, 21st of March 2025. A dedicated team has been set up at the level of each local authority to undertake cleaning of bare lands comprising officers from the local authorities, Mori Facilities Management Company Limited, Field Services and Living Environment Unit. The cleaning program is being coordinated by the National Environment Cleaning Agency. The Ministry of Local Environment has also obtained financial clearance to the tune of 11 million rupees for the local authorities to embark on a bulky waste campaign across the country, and same would start as from this weekend, that is 29th of March 2025, so as to ensure that the public are at home to remove the bulky waste. Madam Speaker, it is also with regret I have to inform the House that the outgoing government has failed in its duty of protecting our citizens, as it has made a poor provisioning of funds under the budget of the Ministry of Local Government for the allocation of local authorities for the cleaning of bare lands. Only 3 million rupees were made available. That for the 12 local authorities, when it should have been 18 million rupees. With regard to bulky waste campaign, only an amount of 15 million rupees were provided instead of 30 million. This shows, Madam Speaker, I'm informed by the Ministry of Local Government that a total of 455 officers have been mobilized for the cleaning of bare lands, and it is expected that in 4 weeks we will be able to clean all bare lands found in the radius of 300 meters from residential areas. Madam Speaker, I seize this opportunity to make an appeal to the public in general to keep the premises and underdeveloped plots of land clean and tidy, as otherwise the local authorities will be cleaning the land or premises and subsequently charge owners according to under Section 61(9) of the Local Government Act 2011. Madam Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to shed light on how previously during previous health emergencies there had been very inefficient management of public funds. Notwithstanding the scandal surrounding the procurement of Molnupiravir and ventilator from Pat and Beaches, I wish to inform the House that Mauritius has an outstanding debt of around 1 billion rupees in respect of acquisition of COVID-19 vaccine. I'll come on this issue at a later stage in Parliament. Madam Speaker, I'm also informed during the outbreak of dengue 2024, the Ministry of Health had sought and obtained collaboration of several local authorities and private sector to step up vector control measures. A significant number of employees were deployed by the Ministry of Local Government, from the Ministry of Local Government, Local Authority, Ministry of Agro-Industry, Ministry of Environment, Mori Facilities and Tourism Authority. Unfortunately, workers provided their services on a 24/7 basis, but to date, have not been paid their dues. An outstanding amount of approximately 55 million rupees has yet to be paid to officers of my ministry and 28 million rupees for other ministries and other departments. Madam Speaker, I would also like to mention that yesterday high-powered committee was held by the Ministry of Education and attended by all top officers, including rectors and headmasters of the private secondary institutions, and they were briefed about the measures that had to be taken. I would also like to add that about 300 employees from the Ministry of Environment and NOGI facilities are actually providing services in this field. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the representative of World Health Organizations, and we had formally initiated steps to seek technical experts from the World Health Organization specifically to assist in designing the seroprevalence survey methodology and advising on risk assessment and vector control strategies and evaluating public health system readiness for arboviral epidemics. And at the same time, Madam Speaker, I would like to mention that chikungunya vaccines are currently under development with one vaccine, Ishchik live attenuated chikungunya vaccine, which has recently been approved in selected jurisdiction. Our ministry is monitoring the issue, and we hope that in the near future this vaccine will be available to us. And as far as dengue vaccines are concerned, there are 2 dengue vaccines are currently in the global market. Number 1, Dengvaxia, a live recombinant tetravalent vaccine. It is approved in several countries, but it has got limited use. And the second is Kedenga, a newer tetravalent live attenuated vaccine recently approved in Europe and some parts of Asia. We are looking into the possibility of having those vaccines once they are cleared by the WHO.
Thank you, Minister. Leader of the opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Minister has confirmed that we have 11 cases of chikungunya and dengue in the country. Will the Honourable Minister agree that his ministry has been slow in implementing the preliminary measures, and this has resulted in an outbreak in the western part of the island?
Madam Speaker, the fastness in which I was reading the paper prepared, if it had taken time, it would have taken 2 hours almost. So I don't understand anything which is humanly possible.
I must hear the Minister. I can't hear the last word.
So I have been so fast, Madam, because there is so much to speak on the action that we have taken. And I take this opportunity of expressing my gratitude to all those workers who were involved. If we had not taken all these measures, then Mauritius would have been just like it was in COVID a few years back.
Thank you. Next question. Supplementary question.
Yes, please.
No,
the Honourable-
precising because we have lots of young people, so they understand what's going on.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. The Minister in his reply has stated that there have been no imported cases. Can he explain to the House how come? Because we know that both chikungunya and dengue are not endemic to Mauritius.
Yes, Minister.
Madam Speaker, well, I'm not an expert. I have been advised by my officers and the technicians of my ministry that these are all indigenous. This means those viruses must be in the air in the country because they have tested everywhere. And as I have just mentioned, thousands of tests have been conducted. Up till now, we haven't got any trace of that coming from abroad. If that had been the case, definitely I would have mentioned it. And those cases which are coming from abroad, important ones, are easier to control than those which are indigenous in the country because you don't know from where it comes. And that is the reason why we had to go throughout the nook and corner of the country, and we have to do the larviciding and the spread, larviciding and other cleaning works.
Yes, do you have another one?
Yes, Madam Speaker. In his reply, the Honourable Minister confirmed that there were no proper surveillance made either at the airport and the port. That's why we have not been able to detect imported cases. Can I ask the Honourable Minister whether the body scanners monitoring temperature at the airport is working and since when? Because we know that on a daily basis we have some 10 flights coming from Reunion Island, and as at date we have some 10,000 cases in Reunion Island of
Yes,
chikungunya.
Minister?
Madam Speaker, number one, I was very, very clear, my language very simple. I didn't say that we have not controlled. Since the very beginning, we have taken all the action that needs to be taken.
Port and airport.
At both airport and even in places where there have been many crowds also, there have been regular testing work has been going on, but I maintain that there hasn't been any imported cases. And secondly, as far as the airport is concerned, many times even the Prime Minister drew my attention to this, was there were no outbreak of any virus, had been drawing my attention to the fact that you have to be very careful at the airport, and I can guarantee the House that all that needs to be done, all that is humanly possible has been done. Yes, earlier they had put some, I don't know what was that, some camera was put, some equipment was put by the previous government, but none of them are working today. In the afternoon, I'm going to reply a question which was asked to me. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in his reply, the Honorable Minister made mention to an operational plan, and he stated that he had met stakeholders of government. Can I ask him whether there has a task force has been set up comprising not only of government bodies but also of stakeholders in the non-health sectors?
Madam Speaker, I just mentioned that I had presided 2 meetings, and at the same time the local government at its own level, they are doing their best and they are trying to rope in the private sector. Similar is the case, I had forgotten to mention, the case with the Ministry of Tourism. I have got a paper with me where it is mentioned that the Ministry of Tourism has also made an appeal to all the private sector to come forward and to help us. So we can't say that the private sector is not being roped into. Everywhere, wherever the private sector is found, we are making an appeal to them, and they are openly supporting us. And definitely in the days to come, if the situation, I hope it won't be like that, the situation goes bad, then of course we are going to take additional measures. As at now, I can tell you that the private sector is fully on board, and particularly local government, environment, and the Ministry of Tourism, including my ministry, we are doing the work.
We had one. Will you let then we already have one.
The Honourable Minister
Before
said that he had a meeting with his colleague Minister responsible for education. Can I ask the Honourable Minister whether his ministry has started fogging and larviciding in our educational institutions?
In many places where the need was felt, the work has already started. And if you feel, for example, in the north, there is one institutions which we have in mind, we have to go fast. We are going to do it today. So it all depends, wherever the need is felt, we are going. At one go, we cannot take up all the institutions, but we have to go step by step. But I assure the House, if anyone has got anything to say, any request to make, we are going to immediately implement whatever we have to do.
Okay, Honourable Member, yes?
Speaker, given that the health diseases such as chikungunya has devastating impact on industries such as the tourism industry, which is already hurting, will the minister consider bold measures, like in India, to introduce genetically modified non-reproductive mosquitoes to kill off that species of mosquitoes, porteur chikungunya, immediately?
Madam Speaker, we haven't arrived at till that situation, but as you were talking about the tourism industry, I have got a paper in front of me where the Ministry of Tourism has already sent letters to all the operators in tourism sector to ensure that the premises and immediate neighborhood have to be cleared and to be kept clean at all times with a view to preventing breeding of mosquitoes. And at the same time, they have also procured additional equipments so that they can try to intensify the work that they are doing. But now it is too premature to come to that extent.
Yes.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Est-ce que le ministre a émis des directives claires aux cliniques privées et à cet effet? Et qu'est-ce qui est prévu si ces mesures ne sont pas respectées? Merci.
You know, according to our existing legislations, the private clinics, they are bound by the decision taken by the government. And my officers, the important officers, that is the responsible officers, are monitoring the situation, and repeatedly we are inquiring from the different private clinics as to the step that they have taken in order to help patients who are getting admitted there.
Yes, Mr. Francois, then Dr. Omir. But, okay, I think we can make it.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, following the detected 11 cases in Mauritius, this makes Mauritius as well as vulnerable for an outbreak at any time. Being given that the Regional Assembly have only administration for health, may I ask the Honourable Minister whether, first, he is aware of any recent reported suspected case from Mauritius, and secondly, whether the Ministry has also activated strict control measures together with local authorities in Mauritius for people traveling to Mauritius from Mauritius, as at times on the plane, health cards are not being distributed. And if you allow me, whether he will request Regional Assembly
One question.
for a foreign...
You can't answer 5 questions. One question.
I'm trying
at a
to
time.
put all in
Please,
one.
Please, let him answer the first question.
Now, Madam Speaker, sir, I would like to add up one thing, because I am informed by my officers that sterile mosquitoes are being developed and released in the atmosphere. As far as this question is concerned, of course, Roderick forms part and parcel of our country, our republic, and whatever is being done in Mauritius, definitely it will be implemented the same in Roderick. I can
Hand
assure
in
the
hand.
Honourable. And at the same time, I'm sending a few officers to Roderick for that purpose.
Well, second question. Come on.
I was going to ask whether he will request Regional Assembly for ref sensitization and awareness campaigns for mass media and community at large to quell any outbreak at any time.
I look into it.
Yes, Dr. Omir.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. With regard to detection of chikungunya in the private sector and private health institutions, currently only rapid antigen testing is being carried, and subsequently they are then referred to the central lab. May I ask the Honourable Minister whether he could extend the facilities of PCR testing within private institutions so that we have a real value of the number of positive cases in the country? Thank you.
The answer is in the positive.
Okay. Okay, yes, Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I ask the Honourable Minister whether patients suffering from chikungunya are being treated in the same ward as other patients, or is there a separate wards for those patients?
You know, those patients who are admitted in the hospitals, they are kept a bit separately from the other patients.
It's catching.
They are detached from the other patients.
Yes, naturally. You have one more? Yes, okay. Not much time left.
Specific to senior and vulnerable citizens, can I know what are the measures being envisaged to protect our citizens from an outbreak of that chikungunya in the country?
Madam Speaker, all the measures that I have just enunciated, these are the measures that we are taking everywhere. But in fact, for those old age, then special attempt will be made. Well, through propaganda, through television, through radio, we are trying to communicate with everybody. And I'll see to it that in all the healthcare institutions where normally they come for consultations, they will be looked into properly.
Last question.
Madam Speaker, now that the Minister is aware of sterile mosquitoes, may we know how many mosquitoes have been released under the program since the outbreak to date?
Madam Speaker, sir, it is difficult to count mosquitoes. I'm very sorry to say I can't count mosquitoes.
Of course, I didn't hear what the Minister said. I'm sorry, Minister. Maybe it was recorded, but I didn't hear you. Please.
It's difficult for me or my ministry to count the number of mosquitoes that have been released.
Time is up. Time is up. Time is up.